Good afternoon, St. Margaret's parents. This is Mr. McCall, principal at St. Margaret's Elementary School, coming to you this afternoon, Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020, for this week's parent update in video instead of via email or letter. I'm coming to you today from what I affectionately refer to as the war room here at St. Margaret's Elementary School, where we have been busy planning for the reopening of school since early June. A reopening that will occur in about a week from today. So I'm coming to you this afternoon, as I said, a little update about our reopening and about what to expect. But before that, I just want to share a few things with you. 35 years of school reopenings, 25 of which were as a principal. And I've never spent hours measuring the distance between desks to make sure that they were 6 feet apart. I never scoured the internet for infrared thermometers so that we could take the temperature of students prior to them re-entering the building. I've never spent hours on my hands and knees putting down signage, arrows, and 6 feet social distance signage so that students know how and where to walk in the hallways. We've always taught children how to walk in the hallways, and then we've practiced it and we've modeled it. But now we have to put down directional signage. And then I think to myself, you know, Michael, you're doing all this because at St. Margaret's, we are able to reopen for in-person instruction 5 days a week, full-time, with teachers teaching in classrooms and students learning in front of them. Yes, maybe it will be a little challenging to turn to your shoulder partner, a common cooperative learning strategy, when that shoulder partner is 6 feet apart. But that's okay. Because like I said, kids are going to be back in school where they belong. It was almost 6 months to the date, March 16th, 2020, when children last graced these hallways, sat in these classrooms, and teachers taught. And during that time, education was really in a flux. You know, we all complain about virtual and remote learning and online. And then we remember that, thank God, this didn't happen 20 years ago. Because those things would not have even been an option, let alone not a good option. And I have no idea what would have happened if this pandemic had come in the mid to late 90s. Certainly a time during my career. So like I said, I will gladly measure out desks. I will gladly put signage down. I will gladly take your child's temperature to see their smiling face once again here at St. Margaret's Elementary School. So as you all know, tomorrow, Thursday, is going to be our supply drop-off for grades 1 through 6. That will be tomorrow between 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. It's simply a time for parents and children to come to St. Margaret's to find their classroom, to drop off their supplies, and to meet their teacher. In the past, it's been an opportunity to walk around the building and to meet different people and different teachers and see some of your friends that you haven't seen in a while. Unfortunately, this year, it's going to have to be a little bit more purposeful and streamlined. I'm asking you to visit, to find your classroom, to meet your teacher, to say hello, to drop off your supplies, and then to leave. And we'll see you again next Wednesday when school reopens. That supply drop-off is for kindergarten and pre-K next Tuesday, September 8th, during the same time from 8:30 to 11:30. I'd also like to take a few moments just to remind you of the information that you can find on our website. So if you go to the St. Margaret's website, right on the landing page, I have posted different documents pertaining to COVID-19 and the reopening of schools. On our website, you will be able to find our St. Margaret's School reopening plan. You'll also be able to find what I refer to as school reopening plan highlights. So rather than read the entire plan, please go ahead and do so if you wish. You can refer to the highlights that really touch on some of the more pertinent issues. And those are some things that we'll revisit in a few short minutes here. You'll also be able to find an ongoing FAQ document. Whenever a parent has asked me a question, whether it be during the Zoom live parent question and answer periods, or if you came into school and asked me a question, or if you emailed me a question, I've been documenting those questions on an FAQ document on our website and answering them the best I could. Also there you will find a white paper that was recently posted to the website. It's a white paper that has been written by a few doctors, a few pediatricians at SUNY Upstate Medical Center. And it has to do specifically with the reopening of schools and COVID-19. It was just posted recently within the last day or two. I would invite you to go and check that document out. It's very interesting, and it's has a lot of good information. And then the last document that you'll find there is the Onondaga County Health Department's contact tracing and testing document. That's on our website as well. So I just want to take a few moments to go over a couple of things real quickly with you, just as reminders as we get closer and closer to the reopening of school. So one of the big things, and as I had mentioned, is social distancing. Our classrooms have been set up with the desks 6 feet apart. 6 feet in front, 6 feet behind, 6 feet to the left, and 6 feet to the right. In most of our classrooms, we are able to fit either 12 or 13 students, depending upon the size of the classroom. This year, our third grade is a little bit larger. We have 14 students, so we repurposed our library to accommodate our third grade class this year. As I had mentioned, signage is posted throughout the building, reminding students and adults, for that matter, to socially distance and directionally where and how to walk in the hallways and in and out of an entrance or exit. Face coverings, masks. The policy here at St. Margaret's for face coverings is as follows. All adults in the building are required to wear a face mask at all times. Students are required to wear a face mask upon entering school, when they're in a common area such as a hallway or in the bathroom. Once they get into their classroom, they must keep their face mask on until such time that they are seated at their desk. And that's the important piece here. Seated at their desk. You see, we know that our desks are 6 feet apart. And as long as students are seated at their desk, they may remove their face mask. The analogy I use is when you go to a restaurant and you walk into the restaurant with a face mask on, you sit down, the face mask can come off. If you need to get up for any reason, the face mask goes back on. And the same is true with our students. If a child is seated at his desk, his face mask may be removed. If he needs to get up to sharpen a pencil or to go out the door or to get something from somewhere in the classroom, the face mask must once again go back on as he works his way about the classroom. Because when students are out of their desk, we cannot guarantee that they are once again 6 feet apart. And while I am not an expert on anything to do with this, I have read an awful lot, and I personally have become convinced that a 6-foot social distance coupled with this, a very simple mask, goes a long, long way to mitigating the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Meals. We will be feeding students in the classroom. They will not be going to the dining room. We cannot socially distance there. And meals are a time when students, for obvious reasons, may remove their face mask. So once again, we know that if they're seated at their desk, eating their lunch, they are 6 feet apart, and the mask can come off. You may have heard the term cohorts or cohorting. A cohort is simply a group of people that remain together for a given period of time. And elementary schools are set up in cohorts, right? We have classrooms, and typically in an elementary school, classrooms don't mix or mingle with other classrooms. In the past, we may have had reading buddies where an older class comes to a younger class and reads to them. Or maybe 2 second-grade classrooms would intermingle for reading instruction. Unfortunately, those things can't happen. And we need to remain in our cohort groups, and cohorts cannot intermingle. So, like I said, fortunately, elementary schools are set up to cohort fairly easily. We don't have to worry about periods or passing in the hallway. We are in a cohort group in our classroom pods. Hygiene. Each one of our classrooms has been outfitted with a hand sanitizer within the classroom. Unfortunately, our classrooms do not have bathrooms within them. We must share a bathroom down the hall, but each classroom has been equipped with hand sanitizers, and students will be certainly afforded the opportunity to use those quite often. So those are just some highlights, again, that I wanted to share with you this afternoon. At this time, I'm going to take you on a very, very brief tour, so if you would just stay with me as I commandeer the camera. I would like to take you, here we are, leaving the war room and moving into the primary hallway, where you can see some of the signage on the floors. We're going to just move into a first grade classroom here, right down the hall from the war room. And here is Mrs. Perla's first grade classroom. You can see the desks are 6 feet apart, all socially distanced. But you'll also notice that it still looks like a first grade classroom, right? So yes, the desks are 6 feet apart, and yes, we need to socially distance, but it's not an antiseptic environment socially. Certainly physically it is, in terms of cleanliness, but it looks like a first grade classroom. Here are the hand sanitizers that I had mentioned were installed in all of the classrooms. So I just wanted to take a moment to show you what a classroom looks like. Back out in the hallway again, and again you can see some of the signage on the floors. So I know that was real quick. I hope you were able to get somewhat of an idea. Certainly you will tomorrow when you come to do a supply drop-off, or next Tuesday with your pre-K or kindergarten child. And you'll be able to see what we've done here at St. Margaret's. I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If my boys, Max or Jack, who are now in college, and away at college, on campus, at least through today anyways. If they were of elementary school age, I would have absolutely no problem with them coming to St. Margaret's for in-person instruction, full-time, 5 days a week, beginning next Wednesday, September 9th. That's when I look forward to seeing your children and hopefully to seeing you as well. I thank you for the opportunity to share this with you, and I also thank you for the privilege of educating your child. May God bless you, and I look forward to a great school reopening for 2020-21. Have a great Labor Day weekend, parents. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call or to email me. Thank you for your time.